This guy right here is now my rival. Let's get into it. Tyler.
Hello.
What are we doing today?
We're going to go see Canon in Bristol for their launch event, but we don't know what it is yet. So that's going to be great fun.
I thought we did.
No, we're going to play like we don't.
We actually did. Going to be checking out some cool things, I believe, and I think there's a little bit of a rumour for competition. And so it begins. Tyler, where are we? Tyler,
Bristol. We're in Bristol.
Bristol. As usual, I'm incredibly prepared and I didn't bring a coat. It did say on the instructions that I should bring a coat, but, well, I'm from Somerset. It's always been back in my own country, it is. A short journey from Bristol Temple Meads, and then we arrived at the venue. It's raining, Tyler.
What?
It's raining.
Whoa, nearly swore then. Yes, it's raining.
We started the day with a presentation on some of the new lenses, which is the 200 to 800, the 24 to 105 f2.8 and the RFS 10 to 18. Now the one that I'm most excited about is actually the 24 to 105. I think it's a revolutionary lens in the field and would be perfect for wedding videographers and photographers. Hopefully we'll get one to show off soon. Kind of excited for this one. It's kind of a mix between L lens and video lens, which is pretty cool. The 200-800 though, pretty exciting. Also another one that I want to try out, Canon. You got my number. Oh, they also talked about the 10 to 20mm, which we actually got sent by Canon a little bit early. Check out the link here. We're just starting on the photo walk today with David Clapp. Actually really interesting presentation. Hopefully going to get an interview with him in a minute. Colours, black and white, that's the goal. I think I've already got my shots. I took some before we started. Anyway, I got a little interview with David Clapp himself. Lovely fella. How's it going, man?
Very good. How are you doing?
So today you're teaching us about the photography of everything.
Yeah, I try to do as many things as possible, anything and everything. I was a landscape photographer who got bored and got interested in architecture, who got bored and got interested in astro, who got interested in infrared, who got interested in everything, and I've never stopped. I always keep moving and try to keep developing anyway. That's the idea.
Being a photographer that has pretty much experienced everything within the creative field, what would you say to someone that's looking to start out doing photography? What tips would you give them ultimately?
Stay as many genres as you can. Try as many different avenues as you can. In other words, develop them all at the same time so that you keep yourself as productive as you can. Because that's half the problem, is people stick to one thing, the weather doesn't work, and then they become unproductive. And then before you know it, the menu systems become more complex and becomes harder to be able to, to understand exactly how to operate the camera spontaneously. And that's a lot to do with it. I can shut my eyes and disassemble the camera and put it back together pretty much, okay. A bit like Jason Bourne or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the idea, is that you stay fluent. It's a bit like practicing your scales on the piano or anything else. You need to do it. Otherwise, the technology becomes a block to your creativity, and that's not so good.
So what do you shoot with?
I'm currently shooting with an R3 because of video. I've always wanted to shoot video and video content, so that's been a massively important part of what I do. So yeah, the R3, because it gives me a lot of different versatility and variety with regard to shooting styles and shooting options.
So why Canon?
It's the menu systems, it's the access. In this one, it's all the customizable buttons and functions that are all over it. That's a hugely important part of it. It's the ability to be able to rotate it that way, which I think is so cool. And again, it's the same thing with a camera with a grip or something like that. But I just love the professional feel of this. And one of the things I mentioned in the talk I did was that it calls me onwards all the time to produce better and stronger work. And I think that's been a huge part of this system, is the fact that I'm continually feeling as though the camera is not the limitation, it's just my mind. And that's really important.
But you also use the infrared version of the RP, which is actually a really fascinating field. Just talk about that if you can.
Infrared's been a hugely important part of my work now for about 13 years, after I got a 5D1 converted in 2010, I think it was. And I love the fact that I can be in any position, any place, and come up with content that's completely outside of the standard colour imagery, or when colour imagery doesn't work. I'm not just leaning into, I just shoot monochrome. It just becomes there's lots of different reasons to shoot infrared, because it's an interpretive medium, and you don't really know when you're doing it exactly what you're doing it for. You just let the camera do the work, and then the camera interprets the picture for you. You have to be tuned in enough to spot what's going on, and that's really important as well.
So the new lenses, what do you think of them?
10-20 is what I really want to have a go at. I want to get back into doing super wide because I haven't done super wide for a long time. I've got a 16-35 and I'm mainly EF because of cost. They're just expensive. Everything is expensive at the moment. But I will graduate at some stage, and I will get those lenses when it comes down to it. But it's going to be a while yet because this was such an investment.
Yeah.
But the 200 to 800, wow! Now that sounds like that could be a lot of fun.
Let's leave him to it for the time being because he is supposed to be teaching people today. But really interesting conversation with David Clapp there, and can't wait to actually have him on the podcast maybe.
It's been a cool day so far. Weather's terrible. I'm cold. Everyone else is in a coat. But everyone's on that. So I'm quite used to it. So we just went into that church over there, which is pretty cool. Got some cool shots there of Tyler. And started doing some slow shutter shots as well to see if I can win the ever rewarding prize.
With these shots, I decided to try a different kind of technique. I was tracking traffic, bikes, and all that when they just came past me. And with the slow shutter, you get a really interesting effect. And what was really cool about this was this photo. It's a dog. Look at it. It's a dog. Wish I got it a little bit more in focus though. Walking further into Bristol, I managed to capture this image of a stairway, which I thought was pretty cool. And got off Bristol, really colourful city. These houses on the side of a riverbank. Amazing. Tyler, there you go, gorgeous human. Moving further on, we went into a park, and using the leading lines, I decided to try and create a kind of centre subject. This is one of the Canon reps, and I decided to suck up to him to see if I could win. And then more kind of reflective shots and, you know, using those leading lines that I think Bristol is actually really good for. I managed to capture this shot as a bird was about to just fly off, and then also a Canon photo. Exciting. We were able to enter 2 photos in particular. I chose this photo and then this one as well, as I thought they kind of emphasised the colour of the church, you know, really nice, and then the black and white of the bird about to pounce off of the statue. A lot of fun, enjoyed it. But travesty, Tyler won.
Cheater. Absolute cheater. I cheated.
I won.
He came third.
You gassed.
I
You
won.
freaking gassed it, man.
Yes, but the photographer won the photo competition. The videographer won, then I just could stop and just give up. So
Training / hey, let's check out some of these new lenses. They unfortunately didn't have the lenses, but it was great to speak to David Clapp.
yes.
When he said clap at the end of his presentation, I thought he was making a joke.
No,
But I hope you enjoyed the video. It's been really cool to produce.
I won.
I won.
I won.
I didn't. They did a competition, and I was just like, I got awesome photos. And then I started looking at other people's photos, and I was just like, well, this is going to be hard pressed. But Tyler won, which is good. A little bit.
Won.
You won, did you?
I'm going to frame my winning photo, and I'm going to put it right next to your desk.
Well, I guess this is the consolation prize. He got one too, but it's pretty cool. A nice Canon water bottle. Thank you, Canon.
No, I'm not putting it
put that
back
in my
your
backpack.
bag.
Thank you.